Hello and welcome to the No One Asked You podcast. For this particular series, I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Matt Darn Kitty.
Dorkus and I are both going into the story completely new, with almost no knowledge of the story or world. Each segment will cover what happens in each new chapter while discussing our experience along the way.
This is The Hero of Ages. It's all in the pages, a blind read-through. And today we are covering Chapter 54.
Chapter 54!
Yes. Hi, Kitty. How are you?
All good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I haven't been doing as much reading as I would otherwise like. I seem to have sadly broken that wonderful habit I had built of reading a chapter of something each night before bed. But as I mentioned in the last episode, I've got extra things in the works for the channel, so it kind of balances out.
Mm-hmm. I have not done fiction reading this week, but I've got new books. I've got a book on ADHD, 2 books on ADHD,
Nice.
actually. Yeah, I thought I knew enough about it, but I don't. It's actually very interesting. And yeah, also I have a library membership. Officially, it's taken years for this thing because there was some technical issues and stuff, but I finally have a library membership and I'm so excited. There's so much I want to read and all of this stuff. But hey, I'm going to just take it easy. Take it easy. And also realize that you can't just spend your entire day reading. So there's that.
Would that we could, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, man. This was one hell of a chapter, was it not?
Yes, indeed. It was, but it was short, obviously.
It was quite short. There was one particular thing that got me hyped in the chapter itself, but I feel like actually I'll say 2 things. One thing that got me hyped, one thing that got me intrigued in a really interested way. Is that redundant? Intrigued in an interested way? I think it is.
Yeah.
And the epigraph itself, I felt, was really the star of this particular chapter, as much as I liked those other 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll just read the epigraph this time around, yeah?
Let's do it.
Preservation's desire to create sapient life was what eventually broke the stalemate. In order to give humankind awareness and independent thought, Preservation knew that he would have to give up part of himself, his own soul, to dwell within humankind. This would leave him a tiny bit weaker than his opposite, ruin. So that's the first of 3 paragraphs and a sentence. So 4 paragraphs.
Mm-hmm.
This idea that preservation puts a little bit of himself into humanity.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of things come to my mind at this. The first being, you are of ruin, after all. And the fact that we've heard that everyone has a little bit of preservation in them previously as well. It also rings true to the religion in the interlude chapter over in Words of Radiance about how everyone is the same. That's reductive of what it was, but basically it's that they are all pieces of the cosmere, separated to experience the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So there's significant overlap. This is very, very much, I think, grander cosmere stuff that Sanderson is teaching us right now. The other thing, and it's where my mind went, but it's also where the epigraph continues to go, is surely, eventually, that will diminish preservation, right? Because as long as humans procreate, they could do that ad infinitum. Eventually, we're going to run out of preservation, but...
Overpopulation, no! Yeah.
Right? Now...
Okay, yeah.
The epigraph does offer you don't need to worry about that now moment in the very next paragraph. That tiny bit seemed inconsequential compared with their total vast sums of power. However, over eons, this tiny flaw would allow ruin to overcome preservation, thereby bringing an end to the world. So yeah, that's like a yes, but don't worry about it kind of a paragraph, I think. Mm-hmm. I've talked a lot. Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts up to this point?
I think we need to get to the end of the epigraph to add mine, but I suppose I'm with you as we go. I'm with you on all of that. I also thought of the way in our current chapter of Words of Radiance, Syl says that she's a little god, essentially, because it all does tie in quite a lot. She's a little piece of a god. So that's also cool, the Cosmere bit of it all.
So you and I are of like mind, because that's the next thing I was going to bring up. To clarify, I read Hero of Ages before I read Words of Radiance in reading order.
Yeah, same.
So I was going to add the clarification. My first read through didn't have that connection. My second read through, it's so glaring. There's a big clue there. So if she is an honor spren, I assume she comes from Honor Beast, or what Yasna might call a big spren deity thing.
Yeah.
So that's big.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool concept. And yeah, so at where we're at right now in reading the epigraph is, okay, so in order for creation to happen, there needed to be some sort of surrender of bits of the deity. And cool. And there was agreement that at some point Ruin would win. They would complete everything and I suppose start again.
It seems so.
So I was interested. Okay, well, we can go to the next half. I'll tell you what I was. But at this,
But even before that, there's another thing, and I almost feel like we should have waited for Words of Radiance to discuss this. Maybe I'll copy paste this audio and put it at the start of the next Words of Radiance chapter.
Yeah.
But this idea of what is humankind if it doesn't have preservation? If Roshar has honor and cultivation and odium, are they of honor and cultivation and odium rather than preservation? Or because they are humans who are sentient or sapient, are they of preservation? I don't think preservation supersedes the others, but maybe he does. No, I don't think that's the case. And then my mind goes to the Parshendi, the Parshmen rather than the Parshendi, those who have no music whatsoever. When I contemplate what does human look like without sapience, were they, before this pact, this agreement, were the humans on Mistborn world just these blank things?
Or were they just not there?
Right. And then there's this other idea of why is it preservation that, right, or were they just not there? And at that point, did they create together humans? Are there humans that are of Ruin? We know that Ruin can't create. So how would Ruin also be able to grant sentience? Why is it that preservation, what is it about the concept of preservation that grants sentience? And it seems to me, especially going off of Syl's humans are chaos, if humans are inherently destructive, possibly slightly more so than preservative, is it a fair statement to say that about humans? And is it not fair to say that giving humans sapience introduces chaos into the world, which in turn introduces Ruin? So preservation's not just diminishing himself, but elevating Ruin even more so at the same time.
Yeah, that's the power that preservation is given up. Because essentially it's a discussion of free will. They're able to choose preservation and Ruin. They're able to choose good and evil, chaos and order, all of the different dichotomies, different spectrums of existence. So yes, that introduces, I like that word, that it introduces chaos by giving sentient sapiens, but all of that, so they can make choices. I like that idea. And then just thinking of it, when you were speaking about preservation versus Ruin, I thought as well that preservation is something that you would, like an evolution, from an evolutionary standpoint, the whole idea is continuation of the species, right? So preservation of the species. So it seems like that ties in as a concept. So continuing of the species, cool. Ruin is ending, and there's this concept of things not being complete unless they've ended, which I'm not convinced, because maybe we are creating for the sake of creating, and being is completion. Okay, that experience, like that whole idea of God being one and experiencing everything, that is not about completion. That's about being. So either way, at this point, it's sounding as well like preservation is the guy that messed it up.
Yeah,
because he's the one that broke the stalemate because he wanted sentience. I think, okay, if we get in deeper as well, you were talking about the population, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the mists killing people and all of that sort of stuff is giving preservation more power. It's a way that preservation is redistributing himself,
trying to take back its
that's
power.
What I was thinking.
To fight ruin.
Not take back its power, but like try and consolidate it into elements. And this, for me, when I first read this epigraph, I was like, Dorkus called it, because your people of Earth lend me your power thing really came to mind. Yours by Dragon Ball Z. That's what came to mind, because if preservation is within people, then you can call upon that power. And it also, we're getting very, very much confirmation that ruin wins in each of these epigraphs now. It's like, ruin ended the world, and ruin did this, and it's just a foregone conclusion at this point. So it's like, okay, what are we doing, guys? At this point, I'm just like, okay, what's left then? Can we get to the point where we see what's left, if there's anything left? If we're just going towards absolute destruction and ruin wins, there's no point in reading the story. For me, it's not complete then. Yeah.
Oh gosh. So, okay, I know you have stuff to say about the next paragraph, so let's finally get to it. This then was their bargain. Preservation got humankind, the only creations that had more preservation than ruin in them, rather than a balance. Independent life that could think and feel. In exchange, ruin was given a promise and proof that he could bring an end to all that they had created together. It was the pact, and preservation eventually broke it. So it seems like preservation was like, hey, ruin, I really want sapient humans, so let's do this thing, and if we do it, I promise I'll let you destroy the earth. And then that time came, and he was like, yeah, no, so I'm going to walk back my end of this and lock you away.
Mm-hmm.
So preservation's a dick, possibly.
Yeah, that's what I got from it. But I was like, no, he's not, because he's the good guy.
Isn't he?
But I was like, Dorkus is going to say he's the bad guy.
I kind of feel like he might be the bad guy. But here's the thing.
Well, I would like to err on the side of existence, thanks.
Sure. But what if the agreement was that they would then start again? I don't think it's the agreement that they would then start again. But here's the thing. Why would preservation need to agree that ruin would be allowed to destroy the planet or the world or the universe or whatever if preservation was sacrificing its own power such that eventually ruin would be able to destroy everything anyway? Why agree to any sort of pact or bargain at all? Just be like, if you want to make yourself weaker, go ahead. I'm not doing shit until I can.
Yeah. It's not so much like it was promised to ruin. It's like it was going to happen anyway. Like, yeah. So it's a bit wishy-washy at this point now, because I'm thinking, what is the point then? Because, okay, so the default is there's balance, right? With balance between the two, and that's still like stasis. That's still not chaotic. Not there's no free will. It's still like, okay, I'll have to do 50% bad, 50% ruin stuff, 50% preservation stuff, and that's my lot in life. Then they moved that because of this pact, because preservation wanted sentience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Does your book say sentience or sapience?
Let's just check it out. Hold up. I use them interchangeably at this point.
Me too. Mine says sapience.
That preservation and ruin, rather than a balanced, independent life they could think and feel, exchange ruin as a promise. Yeah, there's no sapience here.
No, I mean in the first paragraph. The first
Sentient,
sentence.
sorry.
Your
Sentient.
sentient?
Sentient life.
Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So here's sort of an element that could have been at play is preservation saying, so you didn't actually help me at all with the humans.
Mm-hmm.
I sacrificed my power to bring them into existence and grant them sapience, and our agreement pertained only to things that we mutually did together. So, if you destroy the world, you are destroying something that I and I alone created, which you do not have the right to do. Therefore, you cannot destroy the world. That's shifty lawyering right there.
And I'm okay with it because, again, like I said, we're on this side of existence. Like, yeah, can we please not just end? Although I know the meme is like the comet can't come soon enough. What is it, like the end of the world can't come soon enough? All of that stuff.
Yeah, giant meteor.
Flooded again, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's a whole. This does shed a lot of light as well. On not a lot of light, actually. Hold on, a glimmer. On the 16% or whatever. It's like what is this ratios of ruin and preservation in people? And we have, like you said, you brought up you are of ruin after all. There are some beliefs and things that the Conjurer are wrong about. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Or is there some explanation that, okay, well, now ruin is gaining on preservation. So there's more ruin in humans than preservation.
It's just anti-human propaganda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all. And he said proof, right? It says proof. So is that the trust? Is that what that is?
Or the body.
Yeah.
Or whatever which I think you expressed the thought that it's both. The trust is the body.
Yeah. Very interesting. All will be revealed eventually. Don't give hints in the comments.
No hints.
Just
no spoilers.
You can go. Just put ick yuck. If you know, you know. That's it. Okay. Don't put comments that say no. I'm not. Nobody's done this, but like I'm just saying. Just for yourself. I understand when listening to some of the Wheel of Time things, I'm just like, maybe not. So yeah, just. It's fun, isn't it?
Wait, you listened to my Wheel of Time series?
Sometimes. Also, oh, yes, by the way, Dorkus.
Mm-hmm.
So what's actually happening is, as a reward for like sessions and things, because like I said, reading gets me very excited. So I'm going to start using chapters of Wheel of Time as my reward for getting tasks done. So
hey!
I'm going to restart. I'm restarting Wheel of Time. And now I have a whole slew of episodes to go through as I go along. Yeah. So, sorry. Break over. Look, guys, it's a short chapter, so we're talking a lot. I understand.
Not to brag, guys, but Kitty listens to my podcast.
I even like the videos, guys. Just keep that in mind.
There is also a spoiler section in the Discord if you want to talk. And I post memes there.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Shall we get into the chapter now?
Yeah. Let's go.
Vin awakes. Of course, she is bound, surprisingly, with metal manacles.
Like, that's new. Like, metal? What?
She keeps her eyes closed. She checks for internal metals, which there are none, so she's been out for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
She tries to basically remind herself of the events that led her to where she is now.
Yep. As you do when you're waking up from being drugged. What?
Right?
Yeah.
Where am I? What happened?
Where's my wife?
And then someone calls her out. Your breathing has changed. You're obviously awake. That might be Yeoman. I don't know. Doesn't say. It's probably Yeoman. Yeah. I think a guard.
Yeah, you made his voice a lot smoother than Yeoman's voice. Yeah.
Your breathing has changed. You're obviously awake.
Mm-hmm. Which is hilarious because she kept her eyes closed and she's not trying to display the panic, but obviously her breathing is showing she's panicking.
Right. And the benefit of that working is that maybe someone will say something and give her information. But obviously Yeoman is a smart fellow. Mm-hmm. And able to look at that. But it also brings to mind the image of Yeoman just watching her while she sleeps, which is a little creepy.
Yeah.
We get a bit of, there are many ways to make sure an Allomancer doesn't have metal, but the easiest is just to let them digest it. So we already knew this, but there isn't a second stomach for metals. A metal stomach.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
Yep. Vin opens her eyes.
She thinks she's going to be in a cell, but she's not.
Yep. A utilitarian room, which fits Yeoman and his aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
The manacles are connected by a chain, and she, tests them, and it scares the guards, which makes her smirk.
Which made me laugh, because I'm just I'm thinking of it all too.
Yeah. I imagine it as sort of a comedy kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You could...
Just a bit, yeah.
Go on.
Like a bit of, just a sprinkle of, you see them go, whoa.
Exactly. Depending on how you filmed it, you could do this dramatically, and it's more of a subtle jump, like a whoa, whoa, whoa. But no, this one felt more like a fearful, A
comedic. Yeah, whoa. They didn't expect it all. Yeah, anyway, just sometimes the cinematics of Brandon Sanderson is great.
Yes.
Most of the time, actually.
Yeah. Yeoman starts villainously speaking with her.
Sorry. Yeah, the only thing he didn't do was turn a office chair around, spin it around or whatever, and stroke a cat.
Exactly. Bit of a James Bond villain situation.
Mm-hmm.
You, Lady Venture, present something of a problem. What do I do? A single flake of steel and you could slaughter my guards without their own buttons. A taste of pewter and you could lift that bench and smash your way out of the room. The logical thing to do would be to gag you, keep you drugged at all times, or kill you. Quite intimidating.
Yeah. Yeah, the first thing is what shall I do with you? But I could have done these things just so you know. It's yeah, I know. Vin has that lovely, just okay, this is my situation. I'm not going to go, what do you want? And all of that stuff. No.
Let the villains speak. They always have much more interesting things to say anyway.
Yeah.
That's not always true. But Vin tries to speak but coughs in the process, and she goes to burn pewter to help her with it, and it's not there. She's craving the metal, and we get the line, allomancy wasn't supposed to be addictive, not like certain herbs or poisons. However, at that moment, she could have sworn that all the scientists and philosophers were flat out wrong. Has it ever been stated in any of the previous books or chapters that allomancy isn't addictive?
Yeah, there was, from the beginning, there was the idea that you need to be careful.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Yeah. So maybe in the sense of, if you didn't burn it, you wouldn't have physical withdrawal, but then there's obviously the whole savant situation.
Mm-hmm.
And even a pewter drag or something like that. Yeah, I don't feel like it's been all out stated that it's not addictive, but she said that. So I think it's probably just the idea that she needs to burn metals. Maybe it's not addictive in the idea that, you need to burn metals in order to be happy or whatever. It's just that it is a habit. It's like having an extra limb that suddenly goes away.
Right. So it's been many years since I took, I think it was a psychology class rather than a biology class. But I vaguely remember, my terminology will be all off, but when you take drugs, you have these chemicals in your brain, and I think they were represented by diamond shapes in the workbook that I remember visually what the workbook looked like. And
I usually have that, yeah.
The diamonds move into these spaces that are molded for them. They fit in perfectly like puzzle pieces.
Receptors, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then when you do the drugs, they go and fill in those places and then leave nowhere else for the diamonds to go.
Mm-hmm.
Then your body becomes dependent on the new ones rather than the old ones, right? So you become...
It stops producing those diamonds, the other diamonds, yeah?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And that is what addiction is.
And withdrawal, yeah.
Yeah. So with this line here, it suggests to me that that is not what happens when burning metals, but in terms of what the word addiction means, and I remember praising to high heaven the first book when Sanderson had Vin be like, I don't want to get used to using these powers because I need to be able to prepare in case I'm ever without them. And then he went and undid all of that.
Well, Vin went and undid all
Vin went and undid all that. If you just become used to burning the metals all the time, even if you're not flaring it and becoming a savant, such that that is your normal, I think you're addicted.
Yeah. Well, it's... are you addicted to hearing? Using your brain to hear? Like, it's like having a part of your biology that's extra, and then, I don't know, you have some sort of brain injury and you can't hear anymore. Like, I don't know, it's somewhere in the middle of, like, I think the analogy of just having a limb and then not having a limb, maybe that works. Yeah, I understand. It can work. The label of addiction can work, but I think what's happening here is it's even deeper. It's like then again, addiction's very deep. But yeah, she's noticing that it's just, this is her habits. This is her existence. Now it's like she doesn't have a hand anymore, and she goes to use it. You just, like, sometimes when we had power cuts, I would forget that the power was off, and I would still go to the light switch. And you're just like, oh yeah, that's because it's a habit. It's normal. You're normal. But then something's not there. It's like, oh yes, that's true. It was like, oh yeah, there's no water today. And then I'm just go to the tap. I knew that I didn't have any, but the habit is still there. So habit versus addiction, let us know in the comments.
Yeah. They give her some water, and eventually she drinks it after Yeoman's like, I'm not going to poison you. Why would I? I have other ways to kill you. And he clarifies that he has ensured that there are no trace metals in it to burn. And
then we have a little bit of recap. That's what she had done, because she had been able to burn trace metals. Maybe we could have phrased it differently. Did that upset you? Don't upset you. Did you not enjoy the recappiness?
I didn't get recappiness out of this.
Oh, did you not have it? Because she goes, years before she'd become consciously aware of her allomantic power, she's been burning the tiny bits of metal she haphazardly got from groundwater or dining utensils.
I don't think I have that segment.
Ah.
If I had it, I probably would have been annoyed.
Yeah. But yeah, hey, it's just in my edition. It's just that she thinks it's clever.
Yeah, I got clever, Vin thought. The water quenched her thirst and stilled her cough.
Oh, yeah, that whole thing is out. So I suppose some editor was like, let's put a recap thingy in there. We could have rephrased it differently.
Look, I know I've been going hard on Sanderson recently, especially on the recappiness. Trust your audience. Your audience is smarter than you think they are, and they will get so invested in your world that they will remember these details. Yeah.
And also, if by this point you haven't read the first book and you're still just trying to power through this without going back to the first book, well, what's going on? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
You're weird, okay? Don't expect us to, anyway, to make sense of it.
I'm pretty sure I've asked this before, but if anyone listening to this has ever just jumped into the third book in a series without reading the first two, and I'm not talking about standalone books. I mean, like in a serialized story. What was that experience like for you? Please let me know. I've always wanted to kind of try it.
I know that I started, just by picking up a book or whatever, that there wasn't the first one available at the store. And I got just interested in the story already, like just from picking it up. And I read a couple chapters. Yeah, I don't think I've gone further than just a couple chapters into a series book because maybe there's like accidental people that don't realize. But I mean, really, it says book 1 of Mistborn, book 3 at the top and things like that. So, yeah, tell us about that experience if you've had it. Because
Yeah.
there are also just random people that are just, they enjoy the randomness and they enjoy trying to figure stuff out. I'm sure it's happened.
Yeah. Vin asks why she's being left ungagged, and we get the vague various reasons answer.
Ooh, evil.
Right? So evil. She checks out her manacles again, and apparently they're made of silver. And that's the thing that really intrigued me this episode, is suddenly silver and lead are being emphasized or highlighted. What is their deal? And I feel like there's some significant connection between silver and lead and ruin and preservation.
Ooh.
I toyed around with the idea that they do something and they just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I toyed around with the idea of maybe silver is preservation, lead is ruin, equals and opposites, internal, external. Silver makes people, like sapiens kind of a thing, maybe. I don't know, but basically I'm just like dying to know what the deal with these two metals are now.
I'm wondering if Vin could ferrochemy suddenly. Deus ex ferrochemy, and somehow there's some interesting power of silver that is there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah.
And then we get a servant returning Vin's earring to her. We get that it's actually both bronze and silver.
Ooh.
Big deal.
That goes again. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not lead. We don't want lead earrings, thank you. But yeah, it's like how much of her is ruin and how much of her is preservation.
Yep. And what does the fact that it's silver mean for hemalurgy?
Mm-hmm.
And what Yeoman is curious about is, I am so curious as to why you would bother with an ornament such as this. I have had it tested. Silver on the outside, bronze on the inside. Why those metals? One useless to Allomancer, the other granting what is considered the weakest of allomantic powers. Would not an earring of steel or of pewter make more sense? Yeoman has no reason to think or consider that it's sentimental value.
Mm-hmm.
He does seem pretty convinced that it's some sort of trap or trick or something important to know.
Yeah, as you would, like, because you're viewing her as a complete enemy. You have to look at it as, you would never dismiss. You would not want to dismiss it. It's just sentimental. You are going to note it, which is interesting. Why do they give it back to her then?
Right. Well, presumably.
Oh yes, yeah.
Two things. One, he either thinks that they aren't metals that are going to help her, or two, he's hoping that she will spring whatever trap it is that she intends to spring.
And reveal it. Yeah. Yeah.
When I learned she did not have her earring in, I wrote, watch for mist curls, meaning we have paid attention to whether or not the mist curls inward or outward with her. Obviously, there's no mist in the room for us to see. But if it's not in, I do presume that she can draw upon the mists. The reason she can't is when she has it in. And we're going to jump ahead just a little bit to say that Ruin starts speaking to her the second she puts it back in. So it's not stuff we hadn't already figured out, but I guess it's reasonable to conclude that Ruin cannot speak to her when she doesn't have the earring in.
She doesn't have her earpiece in. Yeah.
Yes, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Here's where we kind of get a little bit of the recappiness. It's actually not terribly obtrusive here because it clarifies that this is something that is of emotional significance to her. So I didn't feel bothered by this part.
Yeah, she's feeling it at that point. So she's not recapping it to herself. It's just what's going through her mind.
Yeah. Vin tries to figure out what it is that he has planned, and it's more or less what we said. She concludes that Yeoman is trying to spring whatever trap she intends to. She also concludes he has atium and he's ready to burn it if she tries something.
Or she could burn his atium. Da, da, da.
Bum, bum, bum.
Just like chomp at him. Take his atium.
Do it. She does nothing because she can do nothing, so she puts the earring in. Yeoman says, interesting. Regardless, you're about to discover one of the reasons I have left you without a gag. He opens the door. One of Ellen's Soldiers walk in. That's when Ruin starts speaking to her again.
Very like lame, like, oh, you should kill him. You should kill all of them. Like, okay, cool. It's not so much what he's saying, it's that he's saying it at all.
Exactly.
When he's saying. Yeah.
And I do wonder why Ruin would tell her this. She doesn't seem to be in a situation where she can win. And I don't think Vin's part in all of this is done yet. Unless Ruin has switched to wanting her dead because she's the only one that can stop him, which I'm not entirely certain is the case.
Mm-hmm.
I wondered if Ruin has servants in that room who would help her if Vin decided to attack. Because it seems like if she just did that, she'd be killed. I don't see how she could win without metals. So I kind of feel like Ruin would have her back. Because I don't think Ruin is short-sighted enough to encourage her to do something that would get her killed.
Or he wants her to die. So, but I mean, if he wanted to kill her, he would have done it quite a long time ago, I think.
Exactly, precisely. Basically, the reason Elend's soldier is there is to provide proof of life. Yeoman says, don't speak unless I tell you you can, and only then what I tell you you can say. The soldier asks what she had for dinner the night before the ball. The reason he asks this is to verify that she's not a Khandra in disguise. And that made me wonder just how many people know Khandra exist.
Seems like an open secret, or like just some people know more about Khandra than others.
Sure, because then it goes back to Demio's. Does he know that Kelsier on the night was a Khandra or not? Because I think I determined that I was wrong in the sense that he verbally stated he knew more about allomancy now and how what Kelsier did in the cavern then was allomancy. But I was wrong in that didn't include Khandra. So what I'm really asking when I say how many people know about Khandra is, does Demio know that Kelsier was a Khandra on the night?
Or does he might know about Khandra, but not believe that it was a Khandra.
Right.
He still believes it was, like, it's like, oh, well, so-and-so performed a miracle, or he's just a magician. So, like, there's a difference. People will still believe. So I don't know. It's possible he knows about Khandra and just doesn't believe it was a Khandra, or he knows it was a Khandra, but still his faith is so strong that it doesn't matter. He still believes in Kelsier.
Kelsier had such foresight, and I worship him for his actions, and it was part of his plan, and it worked. So, for all intents and purposes, it was the Khandra working through him, or vice versa. There are lots of ways you can make it work. He gave
himself up to a Khandra. None of us would give our bodies to a Khandra. He gave his body to a Khandra for us,
Yeah. So that his mission could continue. And inspire us. The sacred vessel. Vin gives her answer. We got the line, it was a good question to ask. And I kind of smirked at that because we've gotten so much recently of, it was a bold move.
Clever.
It was a clever move. Yeah. So I'm kind of like, okay, Sanderson, please stop patting yourself on the back.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. That's not like a hefty complaint I lodge. It's sort of a joke complaint I make.
Just an observation, yeah.
Yeah. In a way, it's charming, but also not.
It's like maladroit, okay? When he uses maladroit, it's a part of his thing. So we get excited or we just note it. Yeah.
Precisely. The soldier leaves. Vin affirms, hey, Elend would let me die if it meant saving the world. And Yeoman's like, yeah, probably. But for now, this is a great stall tactic. But I'm not here to hold you leverage against your husband. He gives the line, I captured you so that I could execute you. And at this point, I knew where the rest of the chapter was going. Like why and how this is what was going to go down. And I have to say how excited I am for a Vin execution scene. I think it's like a great addition to this book. I think it's a great, like, scene-wise, aesthetics journey. I just, really excited to see this storyline play out. We do get the good line when she asked, why not just kill me while I was drugged? Yeoman says, this city is a place of law. We do not kill indiscriminately.
This is war. If you wait for discrimination before you kill, you'll have a lot of unhappy soldiers.
Your crime is not one of war, Lady Venture.
Oh, and am I to know this crime then? Which at this point, I'm like, Vin, you know what he's going at. But, you know, we...
Yes.
She initially did not. It took her a bit long.
Yeah, I was like, really? Really, Vin? You don't immediately go to the one person that he worships and he cares about, that you're famous for having killed?
It's like she just assumes he's like everyone else and just was happy the Lord Ruler's gone because he gets power. But it's like, no, he actually was devoted in a strange way.
Yep. So he reveals he's going to execute her for killing the Lord Ruler. Is it killing or is it assassinating?
She killed him. Well, I guess it's assassin, the same thing.
Yeah.
She went there to kill him like an assassin. Yeah, she's assassin.
There is no trial. Was there ever a trial for Ska? I think not.
Yeah.
He is the law in this city. He believes in letting a person speak for themselves and gives her time to prepare. And I'm like, respect.
It's going to make the execution scene like she's going to have a speech, you know, let her have a speech, say famous last words, and then kill her, you know?
Yeah.
It's not really about she could convince him otherwise, which we know that that's not true.
Yep. Yeoman says he's going to ensure that she can't get any metal into her mouth. And we get the line, I'd be very careful while I eat or drink if I were you. Your guards have been told to err on the side of safety, and they know that I will not punish them if they accidentally kill you. It's a badass line.
It's just like, oh, well, I don't know. Our guards get a bit frisky and, you know, trigger happy.
Yep.
It might happen, so just be careful. It's no skin off my back.
Yeah.
And also, they will not be punished, just so you know. Like, they won't be rewarded, but they won't be punished either.
Yep. Ruin tries to encourage her to grab one of the soldiers' weapons and kill him again. And we get Vin frowned. Ruin still used Reen's voice. It was familiar, something that had always seemed a part of her. Discovering that it belonged to that thing, it was like finding out that her reflection really belonged to someone else, that she'd never truly seen herself. It seemed like an impact. That. Yeah, it's an impactful sentiment. And it gets even better. She ignored the voice. She wasn't sure why Ruin would want her to try killing Yeoman. After all, Yeoman had captured her. The Obligator King was working on Ruin's side. Plus, Vin doubted her ability to cause the man any harm. Chained, lacking offensive metals, she'd be a fool to attack him. So, no, the Lord Ruler was of preservation. She doesn't know there's a preservation beast yet. I mean, she does, but she doesn't know that she knows, because it was one offhand comment from the Khandra, Tensoon.
Yeah.
But no, he's obviously of preservation. He's preserving the old way.
But, Ruin wants her to attack because he wants her to die. But then again, the same conversation as we had before, it doesn't seem like Ruin would want her to die. So the other option is 10%, like maybe. It's supposed to signal later on, it'll be like, you see, Ruin wanted me to attack Yeoman so that I die. But I think it's way more like you said, that it's just, this will be her clue later on. Ruin wanted her to kill Yeoman because Yeoman's on the side of preservation.
Right.
It's not just anyone who's my enemy is of Ruin.
Like and it's kind of a leap, I think, to presume that he is of Ruin simply because he opposes Vin and Elend. Because he doesn't want the world to burn and die. He's just trying to perpetuate his religion, government thing.
Vin is smarter than that. She shouldn't be thinking that way. She should be like, phrasing it as it would be in Ruin's benefit if Yeoman were, or Yeoman's work was in Ruin's benefit, not working on the side of Ruin, as if he's doing what Ruin said. Yeah, it's a bit simplistic.
Precisely.
You need to recover your brain, Vin.
Exactly. So it's a bit presumptive. And with that, she tries to figure out why he's keeping her alive, and he leaves. End chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, short chapter. The star of it really was the epigraph, but overall I'm very pleased.
Yeah. Short, sweet chapter, but a lot in there to discuss, a lot to theorize over, as usual.
Mm-hmm.
So good chapter.
Yep. Anything else to say, Kitty?
Like the video.
If you like, Vin has to figure out what her final words will be at her execution, but all you have to do is hit the like button.
Do it.
Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. Subscribe to that Don Kita if you get a chance, because she's got a great channel.
Subscribe to this channel, because you know it's great.
It would be greatly appreciated, and we'll see you next time. Okay, thanks, bye.
Bye.